Joining me for reaction, Senate Budget Committee member Kevin Cramer. Great to have you with us, sir, to get your reaction to this. The New York Post cover today, dark divide. Biden says Trump supporters are, quote, a threat to democracy. He said it over and over there, attacking Republicans in general and using this term MAGA Republicans. Your reaction to last night's address?
Well, first of all, Jackie, thanks for having me. And my reaction as I saw it play out was I suspect that this is a little more of a comfort zone for Joe Biden, being angry and loud and obnoxious. But it was very unpresidential, to say the least, and disappointing in many respects. You've already pointed to the fact that he was going to be the great unifier. And of course, he abandoned that, not just on Thursday night, but he abandoned that the day after he was inaugurated. But I just thought this what I call very unhealthy obsession with his predecessor is a sign of great insecurity and, frankly, some desperation. I don't know why the leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States would allow his predecessor to spend so much time inside his head. I don't see how that elevates his agenda at all. So it was, to me, I think it was a peculiar speech, but it was a campaign speech disguised as some sort of a military exercise.
Well, and that's a great point, because members of the media have pointed out how the stage was set up, the flanking of the Marines being used as a prop, the dramatic lighting, that sort of red tone to give it this dark and very contrasted kind of look. Many people say it was inappropriate to use the military as a prop when this was clearly a political speech and not a real address to the nation.
Yeah, I'm surprised that his handlers didn't recognize that, but maybe this was what they're aiming for. If they're as desperate as I think they probably are, they probably felt like they needed to do something really big. But it looked more like the opening to a Batman movie than it did a presidential address. And so it was disappointing in that sense. I also think, by the way, I don't think it elevates him at all, but I actually think it reduces his stature with the American public when he has now taken the military, used them as a political backdrop, things that they've accused Donald Trump of doing, the hypocrisy of this unifier versus great divider, which he has clearly become. But I think what it is, really, Jackie, I think it's a recognition that they're in a position where they have to throw Hail Marys in hopes of surviving this next midterm election in a couple of months. And they're trying whatever they can. And I also think he's just a little more comfortable with this sort of a message than he is with some sort of more substantive policy message.
Well, yeah, a lot of people say there was no real policy to talk about, and that would have taken him down a road that would have been very difficult for him to explain to the American people. And so he went in a different direction with this speech. Some of your colleagues tweeting as well and giving some feedback on this. Senator Lindsey Graham tweeting this, if we can put it up on the screen for our viewers. With all due respect, Mr. President, there's nothing wrong with America's soul. The American people are hurting because of your policies. Your thoughts?
Well, and Lindsay's exactly right. And I think this is part of the strategy, was to distract away from the policies and the hurt of the American people and to somehow deflect the blame to his predecessor, of all things, and MAGA Republicans. When here's this president who has the incredible luxury of having his party in a majority in the House and in the Senate. And as a result of that all-encompassing power, they flooded this economy with over now $2.5 to $3 trillion of free money into an economy that was already supercharged, and in an economy where demand was already higher than supply, and they increased the demand, and we're still struggling through all of that. Yeah. Even with this week's job numbers, which still remain to be completely analyzed, but it's all looking awfully flat. And the productivity, that's what I get more concerned about than anything, is the productivity of the country is down. We're in a recession while facing this inflationary time. These are things he doesn't want us to be thinking about, much less, our crime-ridden streets and the influx of illegal immigrants.
All of it, yeah, all of it. But it's, the economy, of course, is very important to most people across the country. These are the conversations that are had at the kitchen table. Where's inflation? How much am I paying for groceries? How much does it cost me and my family to fill up the gas tank, to travel to and from work, to school, on vacations, et cetera? I mean, the American American people see through this to a certain extent, and yet the president stands up there at that podium and attacks half of the country's voters ahead of the midterm elections, clearly not remembering that last time around in 2020, it was a very close election, sir. And we have spent, as a country, this administration has spent $4 trillion, more than $4 trillion over the course of the last 19 months. And we just got hit with the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, another $739 billion, and the forgiveness of student loans. That spending not baked into the inflation cake just yet.
No, that's exactly right, Jackie. But I do believe that the student loan forgiveness thing will get baked in fairly quickly, because you have college presidents and provosts and chancellors all around the country watching that going, doggone it, I can raise tuition even more. This guy's making it really easy, giving free money to people. And I just think, I don't think it's that they forgot. I don't think that he forgot it. I just think that they're hoping they can somehow change the narrative while they can't change what's going on in people's lives, because you cannot convince the American people with all the marketing and backdrops and movie sets in the world that they're not hurting. They know they're hurting every time they fill their gas tank or buy groceries or try to buy a home, for crying out loud. I mean, we're yet to see, I think, the worst of the inflation.
Oh, sure. Jerome Powell indicated rates are going higher. The pain is yet to come. Senator Kevin Cramer, great to see you. Thank you so much for your time.
Always my pleasure, Jackie. Thank you.